Hi everyone, a very good evening. So it's late at night today. I mean, not that late, but still late. It's 9:50 p.m. and the date is 7th Feb. So today I thought let's talk about a bit about traumas and how important it is for us to heal them on time. So I don't need to tell you what is a trauma. Trauma can come across as an event which can shake us from our core. It can come across as a feeling of not being able to make sense with what is happening around us. It can be it can come across as any major change in your life due to death of a loved one, or you moving to a new place and not able to understand and everything has happened so haphazardly. So there can be the trauma is just something which you had never anticipated your sense of self to feel or to experience, or an experience to be in. Let me put it that way. And the higher your emotional quotient would be, I would say the more intensity you would hold to take an event intensely. Mind you, the effect of an event does not happen on two people similarly. For one, it can be very traumatic, and for one, it can be, yeah, okay, their window of tolerance is all right. For some, the window of tolerance is really low, and for some, they're like, the world shakes around them, they're like, yeah, fine. But let me tell you, no two people experience the trauma the same way, and also, there's no one in this world who has not faced any trauma. The difference is that they're not aware about it. And yes, the trauma intensifies and it really pushes you to heal yourself once you become aware. Okay, this has happened with me. The acceptance of it comes, but it's not that it will never come in your life in future. Sometime or somewhere else in some other manner, it is bound to come in front of you. And believe me, we all are product of our traumas. Every day, our choice is a product of the trauma we have been staying in since our existence. Whether it's a choice made by your grandmother, whether any choice you're making today, I think so. Only up till 7 years of age, a child is there where their choices are not driven by their traumas. But then that's what they say, that is the age which is really sensitive for them, to perceive things, for them to develop their personality. And of course, I don't know the typical psychological terms, but a lot of the scholars and the researchers like Freud and all these people have written on them. The causes of trauma can be anything. It can be you witnessing, it can be first hand, you can be the first person experiencing it, as well as an event which has happened outside and you're just a witness to it. Let's say if there was a case of domestic violence in your house, you've empathized with the female part. And these days back in India, if the ones of who's seen this video in India, we are seeing a case of something known as IT Baba, and the traumatic events which happened at his house. So there is this guy who was an engineering student from a very prestigious college of India, and he gave up that path in order to find the answer to the deeper questions of human life and existence, much like Buddha back when he saw the four sufferings of the world: birth, aging, sickness, and death. So he had seen a lot of trauma in his childhood with respect to his father indulging in domestic violence towards his mom. And he just survived somehow. And then when he became an adult after finishing his studies and everything, that's when they all got reactivated, and he did not know how to be with a female counterpart. He had never seen a healthy version of it. And therefore, he just went into this search for the meaning of life. And I can understand him, and I can empathize because not too long ago I was also like, why is this, why is that? But I wouldn't say thankfully, but somehow I snapped out of it, trying to maintain a balance between living the life as well as knowing the whys of life, both of them. Anyhow, so just a small example I wanted to give you. So, any event which happens with us, it has a tendency, whether good or bad, to we are like very impressionable. A human being is very impressionable. And especially sometimes when you're in a very tender age, and as well as when you've not developed your faculties much, even when you're in your early adulthood, let's say in your late teens or early 20s, what happens with you and what happens around you, your mind gets impacted a lot. So, as a result of which, the neural patterns, the neural pathways, the way you process information, everything stands changed. So, not healing your traumas, I have personally felt has led me to have more traumas. Because if I've not healed the past, if I've not healed the wound which was already inflicted on me, it's like wound on wound, wound on wound. And then it becomes so deep after a point that you are like, why am I even here? Why did I take birth? What am I even doing? After studying so much and after having exposure of the entire world, but I'm so lost. And that's when put a full stop in your life towards everything around you, your relationships, sometimes your career. You slow down your life and you dig in to really heal and put a bandage over it, like just like on any normal wound. It can slow your life, but believe me, once you can see the healing happening, and in psychology terms this is something known as post traumatic growth, it's worth experiencing it. And though that growth would not be, I would say, like, oh, you would win the Nobel Prize. No. But your ability to understand your own self, and as well as you to be able to be there for people who matter in your life, along with developing the wisdom, what is worth your energy and what is not worth your energy. If I may put it in other words, it helps you in living a fulfilled life. I'm not talking about a grand life, a very fulfilled life. Coming back on to what happens when we do not heal our traumas, our daily choices get impacted, first of all, because everything is a cause and effect. Let's say I've not healed my wound and something impacts me today. Let's say I have some death anxiety or I'm fearful of seeing deaths, and I have an important task to do right now. And suddenly I hear a news or I see on news plane crash happened and these many people died. Suddenly your brain will go, what if I was there? What if my mom was there? What if my friends were there? What would happen with them? And that somewhere, which is just a what if, is impacting your work which you're supposed to do right now and you're supposed to perform. Just a small example I gave you, it affects your daily choices. Not to mention, you go in flight, fright, freeze mode. You know, we all have, or maybe I'm assuming we all have, maybe some of you have not, have heard of these are the reactions to traumas. Any stressful situation happens which is not perceived as too stressful by another person, and by a normal good mentally well functioning person you will be like, how will I do it? Why does it happen to me? What is wrong with the world? Why there's so much on me? you know you get very paranoid. That is what we want to avoid. The third thing is, your logical mind gets very, very compromised. Every decision you're taking in your life is from an emotional brain. It is not from a logical brain. And mind you, where I'm saying that emotional brain is responsible for your creativity, for your inner artist to come out, as well as your emotional brain is needed to sympathize with others, understand things with others. But there's a reason that we have a logical brain, and that is for us to survive in this world. You know, to earn bread and butter, yes, but also in reality, the world around us is not driven much by our emotional brain, it is driven by logical brain. So that can make you feel you don't fit in. Where I am not saying that that's a bad thing. All I'm talking about here is to try to have a balance. There are some people who are absolutely working from the limbic system and emotional brain. Then they also have the courage at the same time to walk away from the world. This video is particularly about, pardon my pronunciation sometimes, about people who are struggling every day to make sense with the world. Or maybe you reach at a point where you're absolutely okay walking another path. I don't mean to say it's a bad path. By me saying walking another path is giving up the need to fit in with people and to live called normal life. You can very well choose to be, it's a personal choice, and believe me, I don't even think so it's a bad thing to live on Himalayas and just be on your own and dig deeper into whys and hows of the world. Number fourth is that trauma brings fear, feeling that you do not deserve whatever you had always wanted to do in your life, and as well as it really compromises your potential. You know you have potential, but still you're not working up to it. Why? Because there is this unnerving thing, like it didn't happen in the past, how would it happen now? Or this so much happened with me, do I even deserve to be in this? Or God doesn't love me, or ABC doesn't love me. Believe me, bad things happen with everyone. But if you do not address them at that point, it is tend to build up. We don't want that. Like I said, wasted potential as well as missed opportunities. Fifth, unhealed traumas make you over dependent on others. On others can be your friends, it can be sometimes your family if you're staying along with them, or anyone else who's close to you. As much as it's important for you to heal your traumas, make sure that you do not become the source for others' trauma. Because trauma spreads like wildfire. And if people who are attached to you, let me not even put it love, because love is a whole another level of dimension. If I see it from the perspective of non duality and spiritual way, I'm not talking about the everyday love. People who are attached to you, who genuinely think that they want your good, it also impacts your loved ones. Sixth, unhealed traumas make you invite unwanted, narcissistic, not good for you, selfish, unavailable, ugly people in your life, which we do not want. Seventh, unhealed traumas make you think in a very distorted manner, which is the noise of again unhealed people in your life, but not your own noise, not your own voice. It is the mental noise. For example, back in our parents' times, the normal age, let's say, to get married was early 20s or mid 20s, and then there is a part of you who has suffered some sort of heartbreak, or you have seen friends around you, if they have not chosen the matrimonial setup, you see that they're not progressing anywhere. And even if you're not ready, or forget about ready, even if your life choices or your views are very different, somehow you will be get impacted by the noises around you. Your parents will have another opinion, your friends will have another opinion. That's what I said, unhealed traumas make you very impressionable to others voices in your life. Your agency to take a decision for yourself gets compromised, which we don't want. Therefore it is important. Sixth or seventh point, like I said, unhealed traumas do not empower you and give you liberation from the clutches of society. Where I understand that we are all social animals, to quote Aristotle, and it's very important for us to be, a very responsible citizen, a good, uh, yeah, like I said, we should be a very good citizen. But each one of us have taken birth not to abide by the clutches of society as such, because otherwise the human race won't progress, and also to actually feel what is freedom. According to Hinduism and so called, if you know what is real Sanatan Dharam, not the ones which has been going very viral back in India. I'm not talking about in any radical way. Please, it's a disclaimer. Don't take it personally. The goal of Sanatan is moksha. And by moksha, I don't mean you die and you will attain moksha. No. Moksha from the attachments, liberation from the attachments and dogmas of society, but working at the God level, working at the energy of the source and the universe, but not with the energy of the humans and your parents and the so called pre decided notions around you. And this video is applicable not only to Indians, like I am giving an example of Indian everyone, even if someone is seeing from outside. I've been noticing actually, just to digress a bit, 70%, almost 70 to 75% of the viewers, how much I just got 200 views up till now. It's not even been a week I've started this channel. So they are from outside India. So the notion of society can be varied. What I'm talking about in India can be very different than for someone who's listening to this video in US. But what I mean, please operate from your own agency, from the higher self, and do not be a slave to the noises around you. Just to end the video now, this change or healing your traumas will not come in one day. After listening to this video, you might go to a therapist and then you'll say, oh, now how to heal traumas. Maybe I make another video on that. But it is a daily endeavor, fighting your mind, fighting your brain, fighting your belief patterns, fighting your fears, and fighting those limitations and limited mindset which has consciously slash unconsciously been put in you, sometimes by yourself, sometimes by others without them meaning to harm you, but yes, it has been. So that's it from my end, and please have a good night and take care. And also, if you have something else to add or any feedback, my videos are usually long. So if anything else, do let me know in the comments. Bye.